Hey everybody, it's me, Aries 083, and welcome. I got a lot to talk about. I got two pads full. This is like the pre-game, and this is the notes on Kingdom. So let's go through this quick. I'm gonna put a comment in the chat. It was roar if you adore Kingdom. I'm kind of a lyrical poet. Um, it might run long. I set my alarm for 9:45. I have dark um the dark layout because the AC is off, but the light usually heats up the room, so I'm keeping the light off for now. Anyways, let's go. I don't have anyone in the chat, even though I tried to promote this on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. But let me if if you come at the end, then I guess wait until the stream ends and then watch the whole thing over again. So, Toy Hall. Let me get the Toy Hall banner. Toy Hall time. So, since I've been gone for 2 weeks, last week I didn't do a live stream, so everything's like clumped up. So out of the toy haul, I got a lot of stuff. Most of it I've already opened. The biggest thing that I received today from CMD store. That big old box standing up like the monolith in the darkness. That is the Kingdom Ark. Tomorrow I should be getting Rodimus, Kingdom Rodimus. I got the Ark from CMD store, Gotbot's favorite store. It's not. It's still in stock. I do have one on pre-order at Hasbro Post, but the shipping date for that is I think like September or December. The thing is with Hasbro Post, since they're the manufacturer, they can't be the competition to their clients. So they usually wait, but the dates that they put that they're gonna deliver the items are usually on time. Like the Scorponok re-release is supposed to come out in August, at the end of August, I think like the 26th. So, but the Ark's already here. It's just showed up at let me share the screen. This was part of my stupid news. Um so the Rodimus has shown up at he's shown up in retail. Where did Target. He also showed up on Target.com, and let me see. Where's the list? Try list. He's on Target.com. Yesterday, he said he was. It said he was on in stock, and I tried to buy him, but then these are my favorites. I got a email notification that he was in stock, and when I tried to buy him, boof, it wouldn't let me go put him in the cart. Put him in the cart. Firefly is still in stock if you still need them from GI Joe. Friday the 13th. Right, so he's sold out. Oh well. So also also in stock. I'm gonna get these out of the way. I was gonna put them like in my news, but where is it? Is this it? Yeah. So the Ark showed up. It says here in it showed up in Mexico, but I think he's also shipping from Target. YouTuber Caltani, she got it and she did an unboxing. So yeah, the Ark should be shipping. I know a lot of people like to act like dummies and get desperate with new stuff. It's new stuff. It's I don't know why if someone in California is like, "Hey, I got the Ark," me in New York, I can't be like, "Where's the Ark?" Because give it some time. And right now, Target is doing their reset, so that's why most of the shelves look empty. I went to Target on Monday this week, and there was nothing, just RCs blowing in the wind. Which, by the way, I did get. I got RC because I love her, but I got her from Walmart for like $11. So that's I love her a lot. There were RCs blowing in the wind. And then I went on Wednesday, and what do I find? Find Buzzworthy Bumblebee Origin Bumblebee. This is the box. If you're wondering why I have the box, I'm gonna scan it. I'm working on making like most of the toy packaging. I'm scanning. I have a scanner. I love scanners because they make your head explode. No, not those kind of scanners. But as an artist, I like what I would do is I'd scan the sketch, and then like use contrast, make the lines darker, and then I use a scanner to make multiple copies of drawings. So in case I mess up on one, I still have another one in good condition. I guess that's where my multiple buying comes from. So I picked up Buzzworthy Bumblebee. He's here. Let's see him buzz and make honey. But what I was talking about, I'm trying to make an archive of like scanned pictures, so and share them like scanned box art. I was thinking maybe someone we'd be able to get artist recognition on some of the art for these boxes. Like this art of Bumblebee, I like. Let me see. I like this head design and this look. The artwork looks good. The artist isn't credited, but listening to the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer, he was mentioning that they can't credit artists because a lot of times there's not no space to put everybody because it's not just the penciler, it's the inker, the colorist. So they have to put all those people's names, and it becomes complicated. And I'm like, yeah, I can understand that why why you wouldn't just have one person's name on the art. So I got Buzzworthy Bumblebee. I mean the Origin Bumblebee. I went to I just to get it out of the way. I got RC, two RCs from Walmart for like around $13. I got another red Megatron, and I got two red Cheetos, which were like around $13 also. The red figures are pretty good, but I don't like the price, and $13 is a good price. If you want to try out the red figures, there's still, I think Walmart still has them on Walmart.com for like that price. They for Walmart collectors convention, they reduced the price on some stuff, but then they raised prices on some, but not on the others. It's weird. I don't know why they do that. It's like first day Astro Train was like 29.99. Then the day later he's $50. RC was like to 1999, went down to like 13. She's back up to like 22. But Kingdom Red Megatron and Red Cheetah are still down there. Ractonite is still down there, like um not Ractonite. What's the Triceratops? No. That guy, that fossilizer, still there. So if you want, go check. There's some stuff that's still low priced. The AI Iron Man, which is a good looking figure, he's like $12. Uh, Check it out if you're interested. So I got that from Walmart. I went to a local closeout store here in New York called Amazing Savings, and on my Instagram I put everything I found, but I did pick up this Optimus. This is from Cyberverse. He's the one with the shield bash when he turns into a truck. Shield bash, shield bash, and he's okay. He has no knees, so he's good to stand around posing. But when he's trying to punch, he has these. So you should always display them like this if you like normal looking robots. So I picked up that Optimus. He was like 15.99. I think when he came out of retail, he was like $20. So that's a little cheaper. And I got this guy, which I'm finding that I'm loving a lot. This is Skybite from Cyberverse. He comes with this drill thing. This drill thing becomes his armor in robot mode. But I'm really in love with the Chonky Shark. Chonky Shark, do 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 do, Chonky Shark. So he's very chonk, and I love him. It looks like he's one per case because there was only one of them. If there were two, I would have probably got two. This was like around 7.99, I believe. Um, they Target's clearancing out Buzzworthy Bumblebee, this little guy with Spike. Um, Monday, I saw him for $8.75. Then on Wednesday, when I picked up the Origins guy, he was down to $5. So they're clearancing him out. If you want to give it a shot, give it a shot. He's probably peg warming. So from Target, I picked up the Gundam Universe, Burning Gundam, aka the God Gundam. But Americans don't like using that word unless it comes to other stuff. Here he is in bag. I took off his head and his accessories so that they don't bend. But I am gonna scan his box art into my computer, Burning Gundam, and my webcam loves to betray me. You betray me. You don't love me anymore. I'm fed up with this world. So I got from Target. I got the Cobra. What is this? Cobra Trooper. This is his box art. He's in a Ziploc bag somewhere over there. The art is pretty cool. I noticed that the Cobra Island art is different, has a different style than the regular GI Joe art. So I got from Target the Cobra Trooper, and I got Firefly. The the classified line is pretty good. I like them, but just like with the Overwatch line, when they came out, they were like $20. Now Overwatch, some figures you could find them at Five Below for like $5, and that's a great price. But as a collector, I don't like spreading myself. I don't like being like, oh yeah, that new Star Trek stuff is out. I'm gonna get that. Oh, Titan Arc is out. I'm gonna get that. I'm not rich. So I usually just cut it down to loving one thing. So like Marvel Legends, I used to collect them. I don't collect them anymore. But this line, this GI Joe line, is a line that's it's easy to get into. Some of them I like, some of them I don't like. I do like. I got Zartan from a online retailer called TF Basement. It's a black-owned business located in California. I got him for 14.99. I got Zartan for 14.99. That's a good price. I might get another. And I also they he also had Cobra Commander for about the same price. So I finally picked up this peg warmer Cobra Commander. I do not like the design. The Super 7, their Ultimates Joes, that's the design that Hasbro should have went with. But this is a design that they used in a game, a GI Joe game that came out like on the PS4 or something. It's not on Steam. If it was on Steam, I'd give it a shot. But so that was 14.99, and like I was saying, and this is Firefly. The art is very different. This is like more painted, while the art for the regular line is more drawn. See the difference? But I do want to get Destro. I want to get Baroness. I don't need this stupid motorcycle. I hope they release her separate, even if it's like a blue costume. Yeah. Um, I'll do an unboxing of the Ark when I can. Probably this weekend. Today is Thursday, of course. I'm getting Rodimus tomorrow from TF Basement. Um, TF Basement got Rodimus early, but he only had a limited amount of Rodami. So it sold out. The price was like around the $96, which is about $10 above retail. But to get it early and not have to go toy hunting to Targets because he's in Target supposedly. I hate toy hunting, especially when it doesn't give any results. Before the pandemic, it was great. I loved exploring. I loved wondering if I go into this Target that I've never been into before, what kind of stuff will I find? But now it's like you go in, you know you're not going to find anything. Let me see. I did try out in a retailer today. This week. There's a store called Amok Time in Long Island. It's pretty far. My brother took me there once. They have some Transformers for sale. A lot of them are out of box. If you go to their website, amoktime.com, they're listed under heroes. Let me show you guys. Let me give them a plug. Let me give um uh-oh. Let me open a new tab. Yes. Doop doo doop. All right, so I'm gonna open a tab for Amok Time, and I'm gonna open a tab for TF Basement. All right, the 20 minutes in, no viewers. I guess everyone's sleeping, or maybe I didn't do a good job. Maybe I chased away my fans. So, all right, this is a mug time. Let me make sure. I've been to their physical store, but I've never shopped from them online. So I decided to take a dive, and they had Siege Soundwave for like $24 out of box. And Siege Soundwave is pretty hard to get. The first time I got him was from Big Bad Toy Store because he was bundled with Starscream. The second time I got him was an Amazon warehouse deal from Amazon. And this time I got him opened from Mock Time. So they have a lot of good stuff, a lot of old stuff. Most of it's open, but I mean, if you're looking for, let's say, Terra Dive, this guy, or that classics Astor Train, if you like old stuff, you could get the Titans Return Astor Train. If you're feeling nostalgic about Galvatron, they have some loose red figures. I might get that sound wave. I might. They have old hot rod. If you're like, oh, commander class is ugly, let me go and get old. It's 13.99. No package, but it probably has its weapons. Blur. This old Darkwing Cyberverse. No, no. Hell no. So they have a lot of old stuff and open stuff. They have Joes, but not as they don't have a lot of old Joes. Nothing interesting. But yeah. So check them out. Um I haven't gotten the package, so the verdict is still out on the business. Usually when I try a new business, I use PayPal to pay in case something goes wrong. But once I'm confident with them, I use my credit card. And what was the other site? That's share screen. The TF Basement. So this is I always say retail newcomer TF Basement. He's willing to he's willing to ship international if you speak to him. This is price. It's out of stock. This is Rodimus. He does have an Instagram, and he did post when he got Rodimus in stock. He also has, well, he has a page, front page of the website. I like the layout because it reminds me of a CMD store. I'm guessing it's the same like company that makes the website. And when you order something, you can use the shop app to track your purchase. So he does have the G2 Ramjet in stock. He showed off the case on Instagram. So if you're interested in Ramjet and you want to take a plunge, you could probably get him. But the GI Joes, the classifieds, he still has Zartan in stock, 14.99, and Cobra Commander, 15.99. He does have Major Blood up here for 34.99. So if you're willing to spend a little more, you might get Major Blood. So check them out. Give them a shot. So that's it for that. Uh-oh. Now to the news. Uh, Let me check the. Too busy looking at my banner thingy. News, pew pews. So now for some news. Mm-mm-mm. We got a review of Cyberverse Deluxe Cheetor, and I have to say that I'm talking about this because if I don't like something, I won't talk about it. Because why talk about something you're not going to even buy? It might be Transformers related, but why? Why are you going to be like, oh, look, there's Transformers tiki mugs? I don't care. I'm not buying that. So this guy, he looks great in robot mode. So I might consider getting him. I do own RC and Hot Rod from this line, from the deluxes. But this animal mode looks, oh, it's so bad. Not good bad, horrible bad. What's with this head? The swords look wonky. These, um, this arm placement does not look good. But I do like, I liked his design from Cyberverse. I'm just not liking this tiger thing, unless maybe it's mistransformed. Who knows? Maybe that it looks like he has no jaw, but uh, we all know Hasbro photo the guys that take photos of Transformers toys or any action Transformers mostly. They don't know how to transform them well sometimes. So he looks like garbage, but maybe in hand, this mode looks better. But I do like the robot mode. Uh, This I'll definitely get when I see him. Hopefully, I'll see him, and it's not like some tail ender thing that he'll show up only once and then disappear. Just give me a moment. Next thing up is a car honking outside. Honking, good or bad? Next thing up, we got Transformers RED Optimus Primal and Reformatting Megatron announced for Walmart Collector Con. This is old news, but I do want to get these. Not so much the Megatron. If I have an opportunity to get them, I would. I do like toys that are made out of clear plastic, even though they're prone to break. I do like that gimmick. And he's being reformatted. Boom, 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 boom. And I do have the regular RED version of this figure, so I like him already. And then there's Optimus Primal. He looks good. I well, he looks all right. Looking at him here, I don't like the head. It looks small, like pea-sized. Here he looks better. But I think the light, the white of the background is like drowning out his colors. But I'm sure he'll look better in box. You'll probably have a lot of people say, I wasn't planning on getting him, but when I saw him on the shelf, I just had to have him. And like, shut up! You knew you were gonna buy him, you dummy. So I look forward to those. I'm still waiting for Bumblebee and Starscream to show up on Walmart.com, but still no dice. Next up for news, doo- doo. This is a minor thing. Uh, Hasbro, I mean, the tiny Cyberverse Tiny Turbo Changers found that Series 4 found at US retailers. I do like these guys. The Cyberverse ones, I like them more than the movie ones because they look better as vehicles. The robots are always half, and they're kind of cheap, 299. I think there's a couple of characters in this wave that I want. I think it's like I want. I know there's an RC or Chromia in one of these lines, but hopefully, I think the wave before wave three, I got them all off of Target.com. Like when I'd order something to bring up the price $35, I'd throw in a couple turbo changers. So I do like these. Last Transformers thing here is this was just announced today. And the first time they reviewed these guys, the Ultimates from Super 7, which are really expensive. They're like 50 to $70. They're the cost of a liter. But his tracks made me say, mm, wow. Wow. Maybe cost of a liter. I don't know how big they are though. They don't transform, but they look good. I like Megatron, the RED version. It looks better. There's no like pictures of these guys, so that's why I'm just looking at this. There are pictures on sites where you could pre-order them, like more pictures of the accessories they come with and all that. But I do like this tracks way better than I know he's gonna be not gonna be as wafer thin as the Kingdom tracks. The Grimlock, he's all right. Grimlock in dinosaur mode, the thing that they have to do right is the head. And from this angle, his head doesn't look right. I hated the War for Cybertron game, um, Grimlock, because that dino was ugly. The Universe Grimlock that they came out with like a long time ago, that dino head was ugly. The animated Grimlock looked good with the what is it? With the overbite, underbite, with the underbite. That he looked great. I like that Grimlock. But these, I'm like Scorponok and saying, "We shall see, Galvatron. We shall see." And that's it. Chipper Williams in the house. Hey, what's up, Chipper? I'm kind of running because I have a pad full of stuff. But thanks for stopping by. It's 9:18. I scheduled my alarm to go off at 9:45. 33 minutes in. Um, I got two unrelated news articles here. I think just I guess so you could talk amongst yourselves. So Scarlett Johansson sues Disney for breach of contract over Black Widow release. Before the lot before I skipped last week, and the week before I said I was gonna try and watch Black Widow. I did convince my wife to buy it on Disney Plus. I gave her 30. Well, I gave her like 26 bucks, and it. I watched it. It's decent. It's not nothing to write home about, but it's setting up the future of Black Widow. If you're a comic fan, you know that there's a blonde Black Widow called Yelena Belova, like the watch Belova. So she's gonna be the new Black Widow. But the movie was decent. I didn't like Taskmaster's design. Chipper says it's really dark. Yeah, I have the light off so that it won't heat up the air of the room because that's my wife likes to yell at me because the light's on because it'll heat up the room and stuff will get hot and the AC's off. So uh you could read the article. She's saying that because it was released on Disney Plus, she didn't make as much money as she was supposed to be getting because she's supposed to get like much of Johansson's compensation was tied to the box office performance of Black Widow. I think she's a producer. If it hit certain benchmarks, bonuses would kick in. But I love anybody that puts their movies on streaming. That's I think that's great. Uh, Snake Eyes movie is out. It's in theaters only. I haven't watched that. I don't think I'm gonna watch it for a long time because I don't feel comfortable going to movie theater yet. Because as you can see over the news, stuff like people go to the Olympics and then they come back sick. It, once the whole world is great, then we're great. But I don't know. I thank Disney for doing that, for putting the movie on Disney Plus. They probably got tired of holding the movie back because it was supposed to be released earlier, but they did what they had to do. And I don't know. They could probably make an agreement with her, even though they did fire back and say something. But I'm guessing since this is her last movie, she's like, okay, I'm out. Let me fight. Mm-mm-mm. Because if I'm fighting when if I'm fighting with Disney and I still got to make another movie, then they could let me go. Like they could give me a Gina Carano and say out of here, or a Terrence Howard and go out of here because they're not afraid to do that. I don't like Disney. I'm more of a WB fan. I saw Space Jam on HBO Max. Thanks HBO. Suicide Squad is supposed to show up on HBO Max, and thank you for that, HBO. Chipper Williams says Snake Eyes will be at Rite Aid in 2 months for $5.99. Low. I'm sure it didn't make bank, Snake Eyes, because what happens with a movie when it comes out, like when Black Widow came out, people were starting to spoil stuff. They'd be talking about stuff. They'd be saying like, "Oh, look at this vest, she has it." I don't hear anybody talking about Snake Eyes. Nobody's like, "Oh my God, the Baroness, she was great. I can't wait to see that girl who plays Scarlet back in action." It's so yeah, it didn't do a lot. Didn't do. I'm sure it didn't do the money they wanted it to do. But at least the good thing is that they're trying, because the other thing they could do is just let it die. But they keep on going. Uh, like there's a new He-Man. I'm not interested in He-Man, so I haven't watched it. I know there was a new Voltron a while back. You keep doing these things, even though it might suck, you're keeping it fresh. Like Common Rider has been going on for a long time, since the 70s. Some of them suck, some of them don't, but they keep doing it. And you keep the public's mind on it. You keep it in the public interest. So, yeah, that's going to come into play in Kingdom. But yeah, Snake Eyes. Mm, I want to see it, and maybe when it shows up at Rite Aid, I'll buy it. Or maybe it'll show up on like some of these movies are showing up on Google Play, like Spyro, the new Saw movie is out. I think I could rent it for like $5.99 from Google Play. There's a movie called Nobody with Bob Odenkirk that's out for rent. A Quiet Place too. These are on Google Play. So yeah, if when Snake Eyes shows up on Google Play, if it's not like $28 or 14, it has to be cheaper than a movie ticket. A movie ticket last time I went was $12.99. So and I guess that's it. It's 9:25. I got 20 minutes to go through. One, two, three, 4, 5 pages of notes. Chipper, did you see the Netflix show? Because I'm gonna spoil it. So while he types, I see there's still one person in the chat, so he's still there. What was the last movie? Chipper asked, "Oh, what was the last movie you saw in the theater?" I want to say Rise of Skywalker with my brother-in-law. No, no, no. Wait, was it? No, I think I went to see Rise of Skywalker by myself. It was either Rise of Skywalker or um or Captain Marvel. And the chipper asks, "What next Netflix show?" Kingdom. The Transformers Kingdom. It came out yesterday. A lot of people were upset because it didn't come out on Thursday, but they don't realize. I don't know what I guess because I worked the overnight. And I watched the show while while I was working. I watched 3 episodes. Then it got so busy I couldn't finish it, but I finished it this morning. Uh, Netflix, like if something says they're gonna release it at midnight, like when I was watching the Handsmaid Tale on Hulu, it'd come out on midnight Eastern Standard Time, but the Netflix show comes out midnight Pacific time. So it's when it's midnight in California, it's 3 a.m. here. So that's when it's out for everybody. Chipper says, "Oh, I didn't see it, but spoil away." Well, I just have some notes. So I guess I'm going to have to go a little longer than 20 minutes. Anyways, here we go. Transformers Kingdom. Let me get rid of that banner. Put this bring them kingdom. Let me get the gas out. Great. When I want to burp, I can't burp. All right, here I go. So Kingdom is the final arc in the War for Cybertron series, uh, which a lot of people have hated because of the. Chipper says, "Yeah, it's always 3 a.m. that the shows come out." So a lot of people hate the voice acting, but I always say you don't have to watch it in English. You could watch it in Japanese with you you could watch it in Japanese with English subtitles. Chipper says, "Get the evil gas out low." So I'll probably watch it again. I've watched like the first King Siege and Earthrise. I've watched them a couple of times. Earthrise, I don't think had a Japanese dub. This one doesn't have a Japanese dub either. I'm like, what the heck? So I'll probably watch it again in Spanish. And the yeah, the voice acting on the English side is kind of bad. It's it's weird. A lot of people are like, "Oh, Hasbro's being cheap," and I'm like, "Hello, yes." Most companies outsource their labor. You big dummy. But I feel sorry for people that are like, hey, bring Gary Chalk back, or bring David Kay, or Peter Cullen, bring him back, Frank Welker. And then the other voice actors are like, what about me? And I'm like, no, you'll never. I'm like telling these people that want these big artists, these big actors, yeah, you're not going to get that. Never. Maybe Peter Cullen for the movies. Maybe him. Because when they started with 2007, it was Peter Cullen, and the Megatron was Hugo Weaving, and everyone was like, they still liked Megatron, but I think Hugo Weaving was like, I'm out of here. I hate this stuff. It's dumb. And then they brought Frank Welker, who's like, yeah, give me the money. I make a lot of money, but give me a little bit more. So yeah, don't expect your favorite voice actors to come back because they never will. Never. Never. I'm telling you, never. Maybe Peter Cullen, yes. Everyone else, never. Forget it. You want Michael Bell as Sideswipe? Maybe for a video game, but for a TV show, never. So just get that out of your head, of your nostalgia for your stuff. Just accept what's new. Uh, and this is something I forgot to mention. I got caught up in Black Widow. But if you're a Doctor Who fan, Doctor Who loses Jodie Whittaker and showrunner Chris Chinball after 3 seasons. If you're a Doctor Who fan, you know all about change. And a chipper says it was Peter Cullen's birthday yesterday. He turned 80. Time is flying. Yeah. And he's not going to be here forever. It's like with Patrick Stewart and the Picard show. I'm like, you know what? First season maybe, but now the second season you're kind of pushing it. I feel bad that we lost Chadwick Boseman uh, as Black Panther, but that's life happens. Sometimes you got to be able to work around it. There is a female Black Panther, so they could probably do that. But you can't keep expecting this nostalgia beat because one person's going to be like, "Yeah, Peter Cullen," and the other person's going to be like, "This is the same guy from the other movies." Give him something new, something fresh, but something good. Because I'm gonna agree that the voice acting needed some work on the behalf of some people, and I don't know if it was their faults or the script. But here we go, episode one. Chipper Williams says, "Yeah, he was way too young to pass on," referring to Chadwick Boseman. Yeah, it's a shame, but it happens. So episode one, my notes are Wheeljack Small, Smol. There's a scene where he's standing next to Bumblebee inside the crashed Ark, and they're the same size, and I'm like, isn't he supposed to be a little bit bigger? I don't know. Next thing, kidney punch to Optimus. um, when the Ark crashes, the Beast guys infiltrate the Ark and they attack the good guys, and Optimus Primal punches Optimus in the kidneys. He punches him here and my kidneys. Megatron's T-Rex voice not deep enough. That's my next note. Um, you probably see on the internet a lot of people did not like that guy's voice, the actor's voice, and I'm like, it's okay. What I didn't like, what was a little strange, was the yes. You can't. You gotta be like Max, Terracons or Predacons, Maximize or whatever. Yes, it has to be a deep voice. But this guy's like, "Hi, I'm Megatron." Yes. It doesn't fit. He doesn't sound like that. That's my SpongeBob voice, but he sounds like. uh, for episode two, I put Megatron the Chad. That's what he is. He's like, those memes, the Chad who's like yelly and all young and angsty. That was T-Rex Megatron. The subtitles meant put him as a Predacon Megatron. It just rhymes and sounds nice. So, antique. Primal calls the Ark antique. He's like, "What are you guys doing in this antique?" Next note: fingers in front of faces, pointy. There's like two scenes where someone's talking and their hand is like in the way. It's like you. It's covering their face. It's like you are gonna go over there, and I'm like, what the hell is going on with the hands? It's like go over there. Should be slightly off frame because if you put it like somewhere where it's too obvious, the angle was like from the bottom, so it's go over there, Black Arachnia. And I'm like, what the hell? That happened twice. um, feel like Black Arachnia's voice is new. I I'm not familiar with the voice actors in the show, so I don't know if Black Arachnia's voice was provided by a previous actor doing a different role. Like maybe they got the lady who did Chromia to do Black Arachnia, but it sounded new, sounded different. Like, oh, I've never heard that voice before. And then just say it's two, not two Megatrons. That's my next note. Because Black Arachnia and Starscream are like, yes, now there are two. And I'm like, yeah, two Megatrons. No, you could have cut that out. Cut that out. To say it's two. But and the last note for episode 1, Air Razor looks good. That is one thing about this show that I like. The graphics are amazing. They make me want to buy the toys. Screenshots of this thing, mwah, beautiful. I love it. I love it. A lot of people are like, "Oh, they look too much like the toys." Yes. Isn't that what you wanted when you were a baby and you're like, "Hey, Soundwave doesn't look like Soundwave." Or you're like, "Oh, look at this Beast Machines Night Scream. It doesn't look like Night Scream." People people want the toys to look like the stuff that's on screen. So I don't know why people complain when the stuff on screen looks like the toys. I don't know. That's boggles my mind. Notes for episode 2. These are longer. Megatron the Chad. Because he's like, "What are we doing, bruh?" To Optimus. He didn't say bruh, but the voice is kind of like that. Like, "Oh man, uh, come on. I don't want to do this." Like a whiny kid. It's kind of the attitude that his voice has. They learn to cut costs by cutting the transformations. There's one scene the Maximals are going to leave the Ark, and Primus says, "Maximals, maximize," and they run toward the screen, and then from they don't show a transformation. You just see the animals run out of the Ark, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay, that's good." If I was trying to be a stop motion artist, that's what I would do. I would cut out the transformations. I know stop motion people love to animate the transformations, but it's a lot of work. I don't have the patience. Next note, want another Air Razor and Black Arachnia. Yes, I want the toys. Currently, I think Black Arachnia TF Basement has her for like 14. GameStop has her for 15. So they're working on getting the ode out. Evil gas has passed. Oh, uh, shades of Battlefield Earth. Megatron the dinosaur. He says something. There's a line in Battlefield Earth where John Travolta says, "I was the top of my class." And Megatron says something like with that kind of inflection, and I'm like, "What the hell is this?" He's like, "Rah, rah, you never be like me. You're dumb," something like that. He was talking to Dinobot. There's a scene where they focus on Dinobot's head, the back of his head, and like, is there a chip in his head? Like, are they gonna explode it? Is that why it's like, like why is that why they're focusing so much and why Dinobot's loyal to Megatron? Um, Next note: Return of the Cogs. Optimus tells RC to scramble a team to go with Primal, and there are two cogs. I think a red cog and a green cog, and I'm like, they came back. Those chunky boys. Megatron's nightmare? Question mark. Megatron, because he has the Matrix on him, it's like giving him hallucinations, like where he's like seeing stuff. So I think this is the one where he sinks into the floor. This is weird. Dinobot sounds African American. I like it. um, Back in the old Beast Wars days, the times that everyone's like, yeah, I want the Scott McNeil to come back as Dinobot. Scott McNeil was Dinobot. He was Waspinator. He was Rat Trap. So, yeah, you could give one of those roles to somebody else. But I love Scott McNeil. I first learned of him from Duo Maxwell in Gundam Wing, which is basically his Rat Trap voice. But yeah, I'm not throwing shade on him, but I, I'm open for something different. And Dinobot, he sounded good. And next note: Hound, Autobot Hound, turned their signatures invisible, which goes with what's happening to Mirage in the Rise of the Beast movie. I'm sure Mirage, who looks like Jazz, is going to be able to turn invisible and make holograms. They're going to give him all the powers. Might as well. Excuse me. Might as well turn him into a camper van so he can have an antenna on top. I don't know, but I think they're mixing their robots. Hound invisible. That's not Hound. Episode 2 continued. Rat Trap scurrying around is cute. They infiltrate the Nemesis, the Crash Nemesis, and the Rat Trap is doing rat stuff. He's like running across walls, going to tunnels. So it was kind of cute. Chonky Astro Train. Need another toy. Astro Train is still in stock on Hasbro Post, so but he's still $50. I want him to get lower, please. But this is the scene I think where no, it's no, no. I want to say it's the scene where they meet Megatron, but I'm sure that's before that. So, Stealth Starscream. Starscream's invisible. Invisible Mirage. I think the Autobots they get caught in the Ark, and they're like, "Oh no, you caught us!" But Hound made our signatures invisible, and then Mirage shows up. He has the classics cube thing, so he shows up out of thin air and then punches. I think it's Aster Train. So yeah, they I guess they gave him his ability of holograms and invisibility. It's 9:45, and I'm only on episode 2. I gotta work tonight, so I better hurry up. After Megatron attack, after T-Rex Megatron attacks the Decepticons, they still decided to fire on the Autobots. I think the Decepticons have the Autobots cornered. T-Rex, Megatron. Oh no. I think the Decepticons have the Autobots and the Maximals cornered, the ones that infiltrated the Nemesis, and they're going to shoot them. But Megatron is like, no, they're mine. He attacks the Decepticons, and the Autobots decide to escape. And instead of the Decepticons going like, Megatron, you punk, and attacking Megatron, they're like, oh no, the Autobots are getting away. And they start attacking the Autobots. And I'm like, I don't know. The guy who attacked you is right there. um, Rat Trap reminds me of Rat Trap, Rocket Raccoon. His voice, it's not Scott McNeil, but it sounds kind of like him. That's not what he sounds like, but I got the light out. But the voice is decent. It's not full Rat Trap, but it does remind me of Rocket Raccoon. Then subtitles: Predacon Megatron. Next note: revving intensifies. I think this is when Optimus shows up to um to help out the Maximals, because they split up. Optimus was going to go get the Allspark, and the Maximals with RC's team were going to go rescue Air Razor, who got caught at the end of episode 1. And rollout sounded weird. I think Optimus might have said that, or I don't know, maybe Primal, but I made a note. It sounded weird. Chipper says, keep preaching, brother. I'll try. Try to keep on. So that was episode 2. Episode 3, rated for fear. Fantasy violence. Okay, that I can see. First note, Bumblebee leader. I think Optimus is like, Bumblebee, if I die, you're going to be the leader. And he's like, okay. And second note, slow talking Prime and Primal. I don't know why in most of these shows the emphasis on slow talking. I think it's supposed to be gravitas, like I failed. Instead of saying I failed. But Primal and Prime are doing it. What is next note? Was expecting flashbacks, just got the night sky. I think Primal was talking about like what happened on Cybertron before they got onto Earth, and instead of showing us, they just both of the characters are together, but the camera's aimed toward the night sky, and I'm like, well, I was expecting flashbacks. Show, don't tell. And then next note is smooth Galvatron, a design that I hate, is a equals fake out. I'm like, this is, I guess this is what we're gonna do. I was thinking to myself. Next note, Soundwave concerned waifu. Because when Galvatron showed up to Megatron, he was hallucinating because he has the Matrix on his chest, and the Matrix is like, I hate you. Here you go, have some hallucinations, Megatron. But I've always, in my head canon, I've always made Soundwave the concerned waifu with the kids, with the little burb, the pets. She's like, or he, It's like, Megatron, please, I love you. And another part of my head canon would be that Shockwave, because Shockwave is also a female. And Shockwave and Soundwave um, fight over Megatron's affection. I know this is doesn't pass the Bechdel test, but it's funny to me. And since they don't have faces exactly, you could just change the voice and it'd be okay. I think, but the fans would be like, "Ah!" gnashing of teeth in hell. Sputtering Starscream. My next note. Starscream is trying to fly. He says he can't get enough altitude. I don't know if it's because of the gravity on the planet or if it's because of lack of fuel, lack of energon. Next note. More color with Kingdom. Siege and Earthrise were mostly set in space or in a dark Cybertron. So there's a lot of color popping here. Dinobot, Black Arachnia, and Starscream. Like you can notice their colors more. So I like that. Ironhide grunts. That's the subtitle. Meanwhile, it's Proud that's running around evading shots. Alpha Trine plus Cog plus Sunstreaker plus Crown. Um, there's a moment where all the Cybertronians start to hallucinate. Optimus sees Alpha Trine. RC sees Cog. Sideswipe sees Sunstreaker. They don't show Sunstreaker, which sucks. And Starscream imagines that he's getting a crown and his cape. He's like, watch them make a siege toy of that. Starscream with crown. Studio Series 86 Starscream with crown and Siege Starscream with crown. And then one note, Soundwave calls Megatron on his BS. And I like that. Like a good wife who would do. Megatron is like, I can do it. And Soundwave is like, take off the Matrix. It's messing you up. And, next note of episode 3, Ravage grunts and yelps. Those are subtitles. I'm like, grunts? Do cats grunt? And yelp? Isn't that a dog thing? Or maybe cat yelps? Next, next note. Sound is just spicy air. I found a picture on the internet. It was a picture of Soundwave, and it says sound is just spicy, and the spicy is like hot with flames, air. So Soundwave shows up and starts like emitting booms, like sound waves. Like they show up like booms, like circles coming out of his chest. So I was like, sound is the spicy air. And then I put on my next note, somebody's dead. Dinobot takes his spinny sword and shoves it in Soundwave's chest, and Soundwave falls. Boof. But Soundwave had a cassette in his chest. So I'm like, either Soundwave is dead, or Laserbeak is dead, or both. So somebody's dead. Next note is I would have went for the eye of T-Rex. I think Megatron comes in, he grabs Dinobot, and Dinobot's like punching, and he stabs like Megatron in the nose, and I'm like, I would have went for the eye, but no. And then bye Dinobot, and then I got busy at work. That was the last note. Bye Dinobot. I think this is when spoilers, Chipper. I think this is when Dinobot dies. Shipper says, "Oh no, Laserbeak." Yeah, some I don't know. Soundwave shows up again, so maybe it was the cassette that died. I made notes. I like it so far. The designs are excellent. It's a big cast, so some people only get like one or two lines. I think Cheetor only has like two. Rat Trap maybe like 10, and Tigertron maybe 5. Rhinox maybe like 3. So there's a lot of people, but they only say one or two things. Um, no Rodimus yet. I guess he'll show up in episode 4. Usually the Commander class and the Titan class toys, they show up in the show. First show it was Jetfire Omega. Earthrise it was Skylink Scorponok. And we already seen teasers with the Ark, so I'm expecting Rodimus to show up. Um, I guess he'll show up in episode 4. Usually, episode 4 is one where they do a backstory, like in Earthrise. I think it was like Skylinks was talking about the dead in the universe. I got a heightened desire to get Dinobot, Air Razor, Black Arachne, and Cheetor from GameSpot or anywhere else cheap. I already own those toys, but I usually get one or two so I could customize. But Dinobot, GameStop doesn't have them. They do have Cheetor and Black Arachne, but not Air Razor. They have them for 15, but I don't know. I'm like, And GameStop is dumb. They get. I signed up to be a member a long time ago, last October, because I was buying a Dragon Ball figure in their store, and they're like, "Why don't you sign up for our rewards program?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm thinking it's free." They tell me it's 14.99. I'm like, "All right, sock it to me." So every month I get coupons, but this month the coupon that I could use is only in store. And the stores around here, like stores in your neighborhood, dear viewer, have nothing. So I'm like, I got this $5 coupon I want to spend, but I can't spend it on anything because there's nothing. So I make a note. It's doing its job of making me want to buy the toys. Uh, Prime's ape mode looks weird but accurate, and the Rhinox looks like the toy. The ape mode of Optimus Primal looks more like I'm sure there's a Disney movie. I don't want to say the Jungle Book, but the gorilla it looks weird. It doesn't look like the toy or like the Beast Wars, um, right? Primal the ape. I got 3 more episodes to go. It's 9:58. Better start hustling. Episode 4. No Japanese audio. I was looking at the audios and I'm like, there's no Japanese. First note, that's just the wind. Rat trap, something happened. Boom, and there's a breeze, and the rat trap says, that's just the wind. It's, I don't know. uh, I think Scourge said that when they were in Unicron's head, or Cyclonus. Cyclonus and Scourge, I think in one episode of season 3, they go into the Unicron's head and you hear roar. And I think Scourge says, that's just the wind, or Cyclonus. Next note, intros have gotten worse. I can remember the music from the first from Siege. It was like meow 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 meow, but I can't remember what Earthrise was or Kingdom. It's gotten worse. Invisible gun. Um, Black Arachnium uses her webs to create a gun for Starscream, and I'm like, it's an invisible gun. And next note, cameo shenanigans. Galvatron shows up. I think Nemesis shows up, but they're just hallucinations. And I'm like, yeah. Ultra Magnus shows up, like, hey, whoa, I'm an hallucin. I'm like, great. Stealth tech. I made a note. Starscream using stealth tech. That's later revealed to be shockwaves. But Shockwave was using that when he was on Cybertron fighting Alita. So how did Starscream get it? No explanation. So I didn't think of that. I was like, stealth tech. But then they mentioned, oh, I got it from Shockwave. And I'm like, wait, oh, yeah, yeah. Huh? The show looks better because everything isn't dark. That's my next note. Next note, the line "one too few" is uttered by Primal. I think you've killed a lot of my. Uh, I think Beast Megatron says you've killed a lot of my Predacons, and Primal's like one too few. I'm like, huh? Next note, lose to win. The illusion shenanigan of Alita 1 tells Optimus that he has to lose to win. I'm like, lose to win. Next note, I did like the Predacons and Maximals fight uh working together as sparks. Ark ship, that facility after it blew up. For some reason, Chipper says Unicron is in the show. That's cool. Yeah, he is. Spoiler. They gotta sell those toys. Uh, so after fighting, there's this facility on Earth that was created by the Allspark, and a whole bunch of sparks come out, and they're Predacon and Maximals, and they're working together. And then the facility blows up and all the sparks come together as a ball and go into it. And I'm like, is that the Ark? But the Ark's crashed in the mountain. Next episode 5. We're almost there. Falcon noise, huh? I don't remember that. I think Air Razor probably went. "Eh." Next note, symbiotic lore. Good. That's it. That's kind of good. I liked it. It's mentioned that spoil. Chipper Williams says spoiler cron. I mentioned the when Optimus finally finds the Allspark on Earth. The Allspark says like, "Why did you leave me? I'm dying." And he's like, oh, "What? We're dying." So they realize that the Allspark needs the Transformers to live, and the Transformers need the Allspark to live. So it's a symbiotic relationship, which I thought was good. Doesn't make for like all the Cybertronians abandoning Cybertron to go fight on Earth, but I'm sure if some Cybertronians stay on Cybertron, then that theory works. The symbiotic one. Next note: enjoy the ride, Starscream. I don't know why. Oh yeah, because the next note I put here, Tony Todd, Unicron. It sounded like Tony Todd, but Megatron gets the disc from Predacon Megatron, and it's a recording of his future self. So he's kind of like he could see the future, but then Starscream steals it and starts reading the disc. They have like a player on their arm. That's why I'm looking at my arm. So he starts listening to the disc, and the disc chronicles when Megatron got beat up. It's kind of cool because it's a recording. It's like Megatron is like, I won, I killed Optimus Prime, which happened in the movie. They don't show it to you, of course, but you're listening to Megatron say it. And then Starscream is like, huh? And all of a sudden, Starscream is in Megatron's place in front of Unicron. And I'm like, enjoy the ride, Starscream. Uh, that was kind of scary because Unicron is like, "Oh, you're not Megatron, you're Starscream," and he's like, "What? How, what?" So I was like, "Whoa, you're, you're screwed, Starscream." Then we get the return of Yelly Prime because whenever Jake Foshi, the actor who plays Optimus, whenever he yells, his Optimus gets destroyed. It goes from like freedom is the right of all sentient beings to and you're like that doesn't sound like Optimus. Even in the movies when he's like, "Grr, give me your face," you can tell it's Optimus. But Yelly Prime in this show, it totally takes me out. There is a line uttered by Black Arachne. She tells somebody, "I like it rough." And I'm like, whoa, hey, that's it's up for kids, I guess. Um, Scorponok Army Builder. That's my next note. A whole bunch of Scorponok show up to fight Black Arachnia, and they're small. As I took a picture on Instagram, so they're short, and they're like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Okay, I guess it works as an army builder." Next note: Globy Globe in the Ark. If you've seen, um, if you've seen the toy of the Ark, the mainframe part that turns into a robot, there is like a little bridge of the Ark where you could put the little Optimus Prime, and there's a yellow globe in front of it. So that thing shows up, globy globe in the Ark. It shows up in the show. And next note is, did Megs know Galvatron was his future self? Because Megatron is like, just give me a minute, evil gas. Megatron is like, "You're me?" And I'm like, "Didn't you know that when he showed up in Earthrise, didn't he tell you I'm from your future?" But I'm like, I don't know. I guess I'm glad I didn't do that dumb thing people love to do and and watch the whole series before the next one comes out. It's like, oh, the new Marvel movie's coming out. Let me watch everything until this point. I didn't do that. So I was like, wait, he knew, right? Megatron knew Galvatron was him. Then he like come out and here, take my power, like Kristen from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, Dream Child. So, episode 5. Next note: the Ark shows up, but no Rodimus. I was still waiting for Rodimus to show up. Like, oh, and then the Ark talks. Oh, the Ark is basically Teletrain 1. It looks like after it went through the dead universe and Earthrise, all the information that it gathered, it said, "Hey, I could transform in another universe, so I could probably transform here. Let me transform." And then he talks. Just like, I mean, it's okay, but it caught me off guard. Just like Megatron, I was expecting a deep voice, but instead of the arc being like Optimus Prime, sorry. Instead of being like Optimus Prime, I am here to help you. It was like, Optimus, I'm here. I'm the Ark. And I'm like, no, no, it's a big robot. He should have a deep voice. But I was not expecting it. The next thing, no, I put, oh, the Ark is more detailed. Instead of being just plain yellow and gray, It has orange, like there's some orange stripes on the helmet. He still looks like Bert, but there's like orange highlights on certain parts of the arc, and I'm like, wow, that looks good. Maybe I'll take a point and panel line and do that to my arc, which came in today, which is that big monolith box over there. And that was episode 5. It's 10:10. It's been an hour and 25 minutes. Last episode, episode 6, short notes. um, all right. The last note of episode 5. One more episode left, and we get a Unicron cliffhanger because everybody. It's like, okay, we're done. Yay. Okay, everybody, the Ark transformed. Um, we convinced Megatron to be on our side. No, wait, they didn't convince him. They took the Decepticons prisoner, put them in the Ark. The Maximals and the Predacons. Wait, was it? I think just the Maximals. But that wouldn't make sense. Why would you leave everybody? Chipper Williams asked, did the Ark transform? Yes, it did. Chipper also asked, oh, more Unicron. Yeah. I'm like, you gotta sell that toy. I'm sure it's still in stock on Big Bad Toy Store for $1,500 with $4.99 shipping. I think I think the shipping is $4.99. So when the arc is everybody gets on the arc and the arc is lifting off, there's a space bridge next to Earth for some reason. I don't know if it was there. I think in the Earthrise it was there. It's a little bit beyond the moon. So they go through the space bridge, but Starscream is freaking out. Starscream is like, no, no, that's what he wants. That's what he wants. Who wants that? Unicron. And they go through the space bridge. So I was like, what? One more episode left and we get a Unicron cliffhanger. What the hell? Next episode, episode 6. First note, wait, this is Cybertron. What the heck happened? You know the Wind 3 thing in the trailers? Like when they're fighting Nemesis Prime and there's like snow? That's Cybertron. Next note, Mr. Big Lead loves going it alone. Optimus once again is like, I'm gonna go return the Spark. You guys go over there. I'm going over there. And I'm like, again, you're gonna go alone? But with good reason, Bumblebee follows him and he's like, Bumblebee, why are you here? And Bumblebee's like, look, you stupid dummy, I'm gonna help you. And he's like, okay, Bumblebee. Okay. At first I thought it was like an illusion because Bumblebee's talking smack to him, and I'm like, is this like something that he fears? Like, is he seeing a hallucination of Bumblebee? But it was Bumblebee, so I'm like, okay. Next thing, Alita is dead. They, it's kind of grim. Bumblebee and then Optimus see Alita One's corpse on the ground, buried in like snow, and her arm is out like that, and it looks like it's been eaten by something, like it's just bones. So Optimus says, "Oh no, Alita." Ah. Next note, smooth Galvatron. I hate that design. It's so smooth. And Nemesis Prime. If you have that toy is gonna go up in price. And if you could get it for like at least $60, then get it now because they show up, boom, smooth Galvatron, hee hee, and Nemesis Prime. And I made a note for myself. I have a bad feeling this isn't the end. Next note, Decepticons can fly. Shoulder guns. Nemesis. Uh, Nemesis revelation. Verdict 7. Welcome. Transformers don't have bones. Well, it was like the insides, I guess, of her fingers without the outside metal shell. But spoilers, Nemesis Prime and Galvatron are actually future Megatron and future Optimus. It looks like without the Allspark, Optimus got. He was like, he got evil. So now, smooth, Galvatron and Nemesis Prime are trying to get the Allspark off of Bumblebee and Optimus. But since he's a Decepticon, Nemesis Prime, he can fly. So I'm like, oh, that's wow. And his pipes, these things, they actually turn and start shooting. So he's like shoulder cannons, and I'm like, oh wow, look at that. um, we, we do get the return of Yelly Prime, where Optimus is like, roar! And then Nemesis Prime is beating up Optimus Prime, and he's like, "Where's the Allspark?" Because Bumblebee disappeared. He's just fighting. Nemesis is just fighting Optimus, and I'm like, duh, Bumblebee has it. So Bumblebee goes into the chamber where the Allspark's supposed to go. I wrote alternate universe. I'm kind of confused because they came back to Cybertron. I don't know. I'm thinking Galvatron and Megatron, they want the Allspark for this Cybertron, which is their Cybertron. But for some reason, there is still a Cybertron where Optimus belongs to that they should get to. Like they were going through space bridges. They were doing that thing in Guardians of the Galaxy where they were using multiple space bridges. So when they went through one, they crashed here. I didn't know it was Cybertron until they mentioned it. It was just a snowy planet. But I'm thinking that these guys want this Allspark from another timeline to fix their Cybertron. But I don't know. And then I wrote Kamehameha, Kameha, Kam, Dragon Ball Z. I wrote it wrong. I I could probably say it, but I'm getting confused. But he's someone shoots an energy ball, and then the next thing, I think it was Bumblebee shoots an energy ball or something. I don't know. The next note is the dead are back. After the Bumblebee places the Allspark in the Allspark chamber and all the sparks, because it seems the Allspark is made out of sparks of dead Autobots. So dead Cybertronians. So all the people come back. I wrote the dead are back. And Alita One shows up to Optimus and she like talks to him. And I was like, oh, she does say that she loves him. She mentions, I love you. And nowhere else in the whole series there's no mention of that relationship. They just talk to each other. But she does say love. And I'm like, oh, love. And then there's this slow mo B. There's a stupid shot where I think B is like slow motion. I think something's opening up a chamber and it looks weird and B is like slow. And I'm like, and then the Allspark like fixes Cybertron. The snow goes away. All the dead sparks um they go into like the the planet. Verdict 7 says, and then they reproduce. I don't know what that's about. I guess because love. uh, um. So at the end, Cybertron is fixed. Uh, uh, the bad guys get destroyed easily for some reason. All the sparks, they're like surrounding the all spark, and Nemesis Prime and Galvatron are like, "Ah, we're gonna get it," and they jump, and the leader just goes like that, makes a force field, and they disintegrate. So I'm like, that was that was dumb. That was quick. So now everything's fixed, and they made a big statue to honor the dead. The big statue is a giant cog, giant chunk boy, and a giant refractor from the siege line. And I'm like, okay, the generic troops from each line. Um, it's great. It's giant. The Autobots are like this small next to it, and then they talk. And they're like, oh, whatever. And the Decepticons and the Autobots are on good terms. Predacons are there, I think. I'm sure they're there because Rat Trap gets kicked in the snow. The trailer, poor Rat Trap. And it's like Megatron is like, Optimus is like, let's be friends. And Megatron just turns around and leaves and says, we're gonna, not, Verdict says, so only Autobots, the Transformers left? No, the ones that got disintegrated were Nemesis Prime and Galvatron. That's it. But the Decepticons, I think they're there. I want to say they might have joined in the fight together to fight Galvatron and Nemesis, but I don't remember a battle. They just showed up, everybody united. But Megatron is like, look, I'm leaving. Maybe we'll be friends. The planet looks great. We work together, but I'm gonna go. I thought he was gonna say I'm gonna go to Kaon, and that's gonna be the um, Decepticon base, and all the Decepticons will live in Kaon. But not he. They just left, and Soundwave was there. Soundwave waifu. He was like, "Come on, Burb." I didn't see any of the cassettes, so they're probably dead. And that's it. The show ends. But wait, there's a there's a teaser. So Unicron is like one space. He's like, and Nemesis and Galvatron show up, and he's like, "You failed me. You failed to get the Allspark." And they're like, "No." I felt kind of sorry for Nemesis. He could- oh, um, Verdict 7 says Optimus went back to work in the library. I'd have to watch it again. Because Alita does call him Orion. So, and the verdict said so Autobots the only Transformers left. Maybe Decepticon went off. Megatron went off world with the Decepticons. I don't know. I'm gonna see it again without subtitle, maybe in a different language, probably in Spanish. But then the teaser, Unicron is like, "You failed me," and Nemesis is like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Oh no, Optimus slash Nemesis, so sad." But Galvatron is like, "Oh," and Unicron says, "I'm gonna use you guys again," and they get like it, they get pulled into his maw and they like disintegrate. I thought they were going to get reformatted and Scourge and Cyclonus were going to show up. I don't know. I was expecting that. But they get pulled into the maw and it closes. The end. And I'm like, no Rodimus. Where's my Rodimus? And the last note is TF Legacy. If you've been following the rumor mill after Kingdom, that's it for the notes. After Kingdom, we're supposed to get a line called TF Legacy, which sounds great. I hope that they do. What I would like Hasbro to do is have something like Universe. Just give me a moment. Evil Gas. I want them to have something like Universe, which is basically everything across the line. We had a Universe before, and we know Hasbro loves to reuse copyrights. So they could probably like re-release Six Shot from Titan's Return in Universe, which is a figure I like. I only got one of him because I couldn't find him a lot. I I couldn't find him. I could find Sky Shadow more than I found Six Shot. They could release like Six Shot. They could release like Combiner Wars, Superion, like where a line where they take old stuff and just re-release it. Like they could bring Dirge, Ramjet, and Drust, release them like as a set, the cone heads. Do something like that. That's what I want TF Legacy to be. And then they have another line where they go on, they continue. Like Cyberverse, after Cyberverse, there's probably going to be something, a new cartoon after that. But I hope TF Legacy covers everything. Japanese, American, European, like Thunder Clash from Transformers UK, or Star Saber from like Japanese. So that's what I hope. I feel like the ending of this show was like, yeah, we're coming back, but we're gonna bring more alternate universes into this battle. But that was it. If you been here for the whole 1 hour 41 minutes, thank you. Uh, I know so after I publish this, people are gonna probably watch it. I think I only have like 50 subscribers that watch my stuff. My videos are usually in the 50s. So even though I have 3,000 subscribers, videos get 50 views. So maybe there's spoilers. I hope this incentivizes you guys to watch the show because it's really good. If you don't like the voice acting, um, change the audio and watch it with subtitles, or just watch it with subtitles on mute and imagine the voices in your head. Imagination. Let me just answer these questions and I'll be I'm out. I don't like Rodimus. He's always red and yellow. I Verdict 7 says I do like that. At least now with Rodimus, they're doing the Rodimus Unicronus where they're turning him black and purple. They had the shattered glass Rodimus, but that's another way to use the mode. I do. Unlike you, Verdict, I do like the red and the yellow and the orange because it's like the colors of in fire. Like when you're coloring fire in the coloring book, those are the colors you usually use. But I do like those colors. But he he could use a design color change. That's usually how they get the most out of a same mode. So yeah, Kingdom Rodimus, I do expect him like to show up as like Unicronus or something. Chipper says, "Do you think? Do I? Uh, do you think? Wait, do I? Okay. Think you'll ever pick up Unicron if you could get him at a good price?" I Chipper also corrected himself by you. um, I don't know. Uh, like I have like a spending thermometer. I think I mentioned it before. It's like $5 good, 10 good, 15 good, 20 good, 30 okay good, 50 good, 75 good, 100. So the higher it gets, the worse it gets for me. So the highest that I get to being kind of okay with it is like Titan class, which is like 150. I don't think I've spent more than 200 because sometimes with tax and shipping, sometimes it goes up to that. But after 200, I'm just like there. And then I let go and I go all the way back to $5. But over $200, I don't think Unicron would have to be 150. Oh, but who knows? Maybe they'll sell them in pieces. Like, hey, Unicron, build a figure, and I'm like, oh, like $100 for the arm. Oh, I guess I don't know, but I probably won't get them ever. I was thinking how I regret selling my Cybertron Primus, and even though they did release him in Toys R Us as an exclusive, I was like, too much, $100 now. Chipper says red and yellow equals Hulk Hogan. Mhm. And then the verdict says Hulk is green. And Chipper says low. And then Chipper says green without the Hogan. Verdict Hulk Hogan is a wrestler. I always thought that if I do a voice for Prow, I would use a Macho Man, Randy Savage kind of voice. It'd be like, Optimus, crime is running rampant. We gotta do this. Yeah. But, but yeah, that's it. Let me get out of here. It's 1:30. I'm Aries 83, and I'll see you later, carburetor. Have a good night. Stay safe. Wear a mask, even if you're vaccinated, because I don't know. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.